Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, is under fire right now. Funnily enough, I think I was one of the first people to call him out for this, and I actually don't have any hard feelings or hate Mudahar or see him as a bad person for this. The issue here, I think, is really just a lapse in basic judgment that, you know, it's a mistake. People make that kind of mistake, right? I don't really blame him for it, but apparently his response to the situation has been so bad that he took it down. And thankfully, someone in my chat here, Hyveri, was kind enough to re-upload a sort of not a screen cap, but a preservation of the original video that has since been taken down by Muda for us to still be able to see. It is preserved history. I doubt he'll take this video down for me watching it. I think I'm on decent terms with Muda. And to be clear, this is not going to be a hate video, but as one of the first people to criticize him for this association, I want to see his original, clearly not well received response, you know? I want to see it. I feel like it's important to know what he said here, because I've not seen a bit of it. And for those that aren't in the loop, Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, is a big YouTuber in the realm of commentary, drama. He also does a lot of content on stuff involving tech, so it could be anything from, investigating weird shit on the dark web to occasionally looking into, just big scams that have been going around, like crypto and NFT type stuff. He's just deep in that space of pop internet news and commentary. And he's friends with a lot of other YouTubers. He's friends with a lot of people. He's actually, for such a large YouTuber, and I consider this a green flag when it comes to large YouTubers, if they don't consider themselves so above much smaller YouTubers, but that are still kinda like someone, that they're not willing to talk to them, if they're not like that, I consider it a green flag. And Muda is someone that, since I've been well under 100k subs, I think he's been subbed to me. I think he's shown up in my chat a few times, and he followed me on Twitter. He's never had that weird big YouTuber superiority complex thing. And I think that's a big green flag. So going into this, I want you guys to know my opinion on Muda is not negative, but he is under fire, and I have, to be fair, contributed in calling him out over his past associations, of which he's really associated. This isn't just a few like following on Twitter or just having met a couple times, but his past platforming by and platforming of Nux Taku, a degenerate gooner YouTuber who makes a lot of creepy jokes about lollies and talks about watching lolly shit and all that. His entire sense of humor is either joking about being a degenerate goon cave dweller or joking about being a degenerate lolicon. That's half of, if not more, of his videos. It's all, and he does it in a voice like this, because you're a Twitch thought, nasty greedy bitch thought. You know, if you've heard that song, that's Nux Taku. Awful dude, horrible person. I will say, I don't like that Muda ever gave that guy the time of day, but I am happy that the internet as a whole is starting to recognize Nux as the fucking weirdo that he is. I am very glad it's finally happening. I knew it was going to go down months ago when I talked about this, and I uploaded a video about this a few months ago. I'm glad it's finally going down. But let's check out this Muda video. In fact, before we do, I'm actually curious. Comment down below, since I want to know what you guys think of the situation. Do you think Muda is a bad person for having associated with Nux Taku? I don't think so. I think that people make mistakes. I think, in large part, the response and what the actual intent behind the response is we can work it out is probably what matters most. Maybe the response is just badly made and worded, but the meaning behind it is still reasonable and good. Let's find out. Let's see what his response to the situation is. I don't know, maybe he doubles and triples down and says, no, Nux is a great guy or some shit like that. That would be not the best response, in my opinion. Not the best. Let's check this whole thing out. By the way, I'm going to speed it up to 1.3x speed because it's 38 minutes. But let's take a look. Post-Nux clarity.
Guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today we've got a pretty serious video to make. Throughout my career, you know, people make mistakes and there's accountability to be taken, and I am not shy to taking real accountability to actual mistakes. Now, the thing about this is, obviously I can upload these kind of videos onto secondary platforms, but I really think for full effect, I should always upload to the main platform and really talk to you guys in a full level-headed way. Now, I have a Reddit board known as Some Ordinary Gamers, and you can post whatever memes and things you want all day, every day. But one of the clips that I saw, one of the things shared, was resurfaced video of Oompaville, Some Ordinary Gamers, and Nux Taku watching Loli together on a Discord call. So when I see this kind of stuff, it blows me, and obviously it flashbangs anybody, and I want to definitely have a talk about it and really explain to you exactly what this is, what it's about, give you my side of the perspective, and again, take a...
Alright. So here's... Zan, he deleted the video because he because he wants to still be friends with Nux. Ooh, that's pretty cringe. But just in case he denies what is being called out in that clip, that is not a misrepresentative title. In that video, it is Muda, Oompaville, I think at a different point Turkey Tom had been brought on and basically told Nux Taku to his face he thinks he belongs in a zoo, or locked behind some kind of cage, which I think is the right response, rather than like taking the peer pressure to joke around about that stuff. But Oompaville, Nux, and Muda watched some videos that Nux Taku wanted to show them, and several of these videos are lolly porn, or the like build-up section to a lolly porn. Like it cuts out comedically, quote unquote, like right before it becomes fully pornographic, but you know where it's going, I guess, was like it's this degenerate gooner anime joke culture that he's like big in, that Nux was doing. I don't consider it humor. I consider it just sort of not even dog whistling, but just sort of normalizing their weird gooner shit and their lolly stuff. But basically showing them those videos, and Nux is doing this like goblin chuckle the whole time about how, hey, isn't this so funny, isn't this so funny, and trying to like peer pressure the two of them into like begrudgingly not taking what is happening in this situation seriously. It's a bad look, guys. Some of the videos are incest too. It's like the lead-in or the beginning of like incest porn. It's all anime stuff, but you know, I don't think that makes much of a difference to the conversation.
Accountability where accountability needs to be fucking taken. Now, I've had a pretty hardcore stance against things like lolly, and obviously I don't want to be contributing to watching that kind of content or normalizing it in any fashion. So in this situation, obviously I looked at some of these clips and I want to explain what's happening and completely condemn it too, because as somebody that is 1000% against this kind of stuff, I don't want to be, again, normalizing it in any capacity. Now, for people who don't know, Oompaville and Nux Taku were former...
Okay, that so far so good. So far, so good. Like, it's actually completely reasonable if he just says, I felt peer pressure because a large YouTuber friend of mine had invited me to a video where, in my perspective, it seemed like we were just going to watch fucked up things for the humor of how fucked up it is to endure watching that. And we're going to, like, cringe visibly. Like, maybe that, like, if that's his response, then that's literally what I assume happened. Is that, like, Muda just kind of hoped that he kind of hoped the popularity of Nux Taku would act as a vetting in and of itself. And I think that's something that a lot more YouTubers need to start to be wary of as, like, a way of operating. Using the existence of a large audience that a YouTuber has as the vetting is not good. That, like, the fact that a big YouTuber is a big YouTuber does not mean that even publicly they're not up to some skeevy shit, right? Like, I just think it's a bad habit.
Members of the Some Ordinary podcast, which obviously ended 3 to 4 months ago. Now, I get to talk about that a little bit after I discuss all of this, because there's some lore about it that I can finally really discuss, and it should shed to light exactly what really happened with the podcast, because it's pretty independent of this. But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship, and I really can't, like, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content as well. So this video that was uploaded with, again, Nux Taku as Jeffrey Epstein, and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here, Mudahar Nunt, right? So obviously in this clip, or in this video...
We watched that video.
There is a pretty big clip of me, Nux Taku, and Quite, and Caleb
Oh,
basically
quite.
watching and reviewing hentai together. Now, while all three of us were present in this video, this is a section from me, right? Now, obviously, these videos, according to how this video was played, was uploaded on YouTube. Now, for full context, when it comes to recording stuff, this was 3 years ago, so I don't remember everything done onto it. I don't think anybody can remember something they did 3 years ago, especially when you make videos nearly every day. But in this collaboration, Nux doesn't really give any preparation material. We kind of just jump in and record stuff and then send it over to his editors or himself over Discord. But in this situation, he showed us a channel known as Henty Boy, right? Which again, this is a video known as Hentai Thick Girl, very unknown, very small viewership. But as you can see right over here, right, this is all uploaded to YouTube. And even when you look at the upload date for this, August 20.
Listen, the fact that Nux Taku knew about this channel tells me a lot. Like, 113 subscribers, 757 views on this video after Nux made a video about this channel. This is all stats, I think, from after Nux made a video about this channel. So it was smaller before, no doubt, and he knew of it or found it. That's how you know he is a professional degenerate. And you know what I think? I've had, like, even from friends on the left, I've had them tell me they hate the term degenerate. I think we need to start heavily appropriating the term degenerate, because 99% of the time, there is no more apt of a term to describe the people that we're up against. The average Republican, the average MAGA type, the average Nazi on the internet, the average weirdo lolicon transphobe gooner with an anime profile picture. They're all degenerates, and that should be what we call them. They're degenerates. It's as simple as that. This is just degeneracy. Actual degeneracy.
2020 around Nux's actual video, which would have been uploaded like January of or the end of January of like 2021. The channel pretty much remained dormant over here, but it was pretty much an unknown channel that slipped under YouTube's moderation. And I don't even think that channel exists anymore, because with the amount of attention raised through Nux's initial video, it probably is completely removed and has actually been banned off of the platform. And again, when I was working with Nux, a lot of the things we did talk about was being anti-loli in that situation. And Nux very much made it clear to me that he was anti this stuff as well too, and he still maintains it to this day. But the kind of stuff that he
listen, Muda, I grab you by the sides of your head, and I look deep into your eyes, and I say to you, do you think pedophiles are honest people? A very simple question. A very straightforward, simple question that personally I think gets to the heart of the issue. Do you think that they're honest people? Because if Nux is a lolicon, his words certainly would not be enough to go off of to be like, oh, I guess you're not, man. Oh, never mind. Like, obviously that wouldn't be enough. But if you look at the long history of weirdo behavior, just to summarize, just to simply refer to it from Nux Taku, it is hard, difficult to imagine a scenario where it's all just memes and irony, and just that. It's just memes and irony, nothing else.
He showed us was anime ni summer. Now, inside the video, inside Nux's presentation, it kind of came off as like just a cursed little hentai, and the reality of it is I never really watched his collaboration, but if you take the name that ni summer has had and put it into my anime list, which I realistically should have done at the time, you can see the synopsis is Yuta Yamayuchi is a average high school student, right? So right there, I'm not going to play the whole semantics, oh, is this...
Okay. Alright, No. Is he using the Vosh defense? So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, when Vosh leaked his porn folder on stream, the reason I knew what happened was that I woke up that morning and some friends of mine who were ex-Vosh fans that were watching the stream live, multiple of them had messaged me all around the same time, that Vosh had leaked his porn folder on stream, and that there was lolly and horse porn in it. And I was like, no shot. No fucking shot. And so they described the contents of what was in the images in the folder. I haven't seen it myself, but it was described to me. Like, one of the images is either one or two anime girls eating a horse's ass. It's like drawn, and one of them is, I don't remember what the other ones are, but I know that's like the one that definitely stuck in my mind. Was the description of that? It was like, oh, 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 and so that was what was told to me. Maybe 30 minutes after that all went down, several big YouTubers have also tweeted out about this, the original video, the screenshots. It's all there. Like, this happened. But after the fact, I don't know if it was Vosh, his community, or what, but fake versions of that have been passed around. And then in Vosh's response, he claimed that, like, yeah, one of the images, it turns out, is from an artist that makes lolly. And I guess if you look at it for long enough, it can kind of be seen that way. But he's referring to a version or an image of the folder's contents that has been edited. And it has been confirmed to me by the people who are ex-Vosh fans that were there that day that that is not what was on that original folder. That it is an edited version to look less bad that he then made his response around. And so this feels like Muda's kind of doing that a little bit. Because, like, you just have to watch the original video, and it is very evident in what Muda saw there himself, because the video is nothing but him reacting to the stuff Nux shows them. In the video itself, it is evident that they are high school age, and in high school, because of the context of them being in the school uniforms, they look very young. They're like there's subtitles and they're talking about school, if I'm not mistaken. It is very obvious what is happening in that video. And so it feels like this whole, like, I didn't know, but if I had, I wouldn't be in favor of it. He knew. This feels a bit dishonest to me. The whole point of the video, once again, as far as Muda knew at the time, this doesn't require any, like, he doesn't need to bullshit his way out of this. I don't know why he's doing this already. It's like, yeah, what he showed us was fucked up and wrong. I was under the impression that it was supposed to be, and that the humor was that he was forcing us to watch fucked up shit as like a form of, like, torture for the audience's enjoyment, because that's what a lot of YouTubers do. Like, that is a completely acceptable explanation from Muda. Like, it would make sense, and it would not, I think, mean all that much bad for him. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know. Oh.
It's really lolly game. Like, I don't even care if somebody's like 18 or on the cusp of like turning 19. At the end of the day, high school can very much involve a minor. And when you scroll down and go to the information, it is a OVA by a studio known as Rabbit Gate with no licensors, but the genre is in fact hentai. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if it's hentai and it involves high school people, it does in fact fall under the...
Yeah, but none of this info matters. You could just tell from the content of what you saw was evidently fucked. Like, he's trying to... I don't like this, because he's trying to imply that what he saw on face value was not weird or problematic, and that you would have to know this, like, outside of what he saw in info to know what it is, but that's not the case.
Lowly banner, and that is never okay in any capacity. Now, obviously, these videos existing on YouTube kind of, again, led us to some credence that maybe it wasn't, this, like, borderline illicit material, but again...
No, that's a fine response, too. Like, I figured if Nux Taku, a big YouTuber, is just going to show us YouTube videos, it's probably not going to look too bad for me, anything that he's going to be showing. Like, I'm probably okay to have my face shown here, and that did not end up being the case. Because like I said before, you cannot take a figure having a large audience as a vetting of that figure, right? Like, people like Jake Paul have huge audiences. Doesn't mean they're good people.
And these were also smaller YouTube channels, so chances are they probably weren't swept up under the YouTube moderation, which is something that also should have really been considered from my end. It should have been something that I never watched in the first place. I should have never, condoned. And honestly, it's pretty shitty to even contribute to somewhat normalizing this material. When there's a lot of large creators that work with a person, you tend to have this level of, like, authority brought into it. And there is obviously a blind spot when this is somebody that you consider to be a friend at the time. And obviously, when you work with that person and you see other large creators that you're also friends with work with that person, it just, again, swells up that blind spot that you make.
Okay, this is good. I really don't know why he included that bit where he's like, "Oh, here's the info on the video." That felt really like sneakily dishonest. You know what I mean? Like, it feels sneakily dishonest. This implication that you would have to read that separate page to know how fucked up that video he had been shown was.
But again, no real excuses over there. You shouldn't really have a blind spot in the first place. And again, it's not only me being a poor judge of character, but I should have absolutely spotted this years ago. So for that, I absolutely own up to my fuck up here. But again, I don't think this is literally us gooning together watching Loli in this manner. This is a collaboration where it happens pretty much on the fly, and it's not, representative of the kind of shit that I consume on a daily basis or anything of that nature. Like, I would...
I think there's also got to be a separate conversation about, well, like, after that video, with how weird those videos that Nux showed you were you not, like, at any point... Because we know how smart of a guy Muda is. Like, Muda is a smart guy with, like, a pretty significant amount of intuition. He's been pretty good at calling people out when it comes to, like, YouTube dramas and stuff. This is not a guy who has, like, a big blind spot for people, typically. So the question is, did he or did he not recognize how weird what he saw was? Because it was evidently weird. And if so, why did he not confront Nux? And why does he still low-key defend Nux? I would use the word weirdly defensive rather than sneakily dishonest. Yeah, that's probably better wording. That's probably closer to what I was looking for. I just couldn't think of a good... I couldn't think of a good way to word it. It just seems like... It seems like a covert way, though, of getting it into the uninformed viewer. Like, if you're not informed on this drama and you're hearing about, like, the opposition side and Muda's side from Muda's side of the video, then to an uninformed viewer, it's easy to imply to them, or it's easy for them after hearing that to assume that people are getting mad at Muda for not condemning something that, at the time, he realistically had no way of knowing was bad. That is not why people are upset. Because what Muda saw at the time, in that video clip, is the fucked up thing. It's why that video clip coming out is something that Muda has to respond to.
Never willingly and honestly, like, watch something like this, out of nowhere. This is just insane, and I wanted to really bring this up and bring this into the context of what this clip was and why we had watched this kind of stuff. And any jokes that I make in these situations, really any jokes that anybody makes in collaborations like this, is usually because everyone's just playing into the high shock factor of something like this. Does that excuse any behavior? Absolutely not.
And he showed us something very weird, and I remember getting somewhat upset about it and not liking it that much. It was me, him, and Quite. I want to say it was something involving a dog too, but I
exactly
probably 900-year-old cum vamp for far too long.
These are the four horsemen of the apocalypse we're looking at right now. This is like some mythological.
They've been around since long before civilization.
Exactly. Wait, you showed one in those videos?
This is the 5 rules of the Onami household.
Okay.
These are the little sisters, by the way.
Okay, this is a hentai?
First rule: hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay, so you're getting it. I'm glad that Muda is showing. He's not being dishonest here. He's showing the clips that are in that video that are causing the drama, at least. So I will not... He is not being dishonest. I'll give him that. But man, like... This isn't helping his case either, though, because, like... Man... Like, you can tell these videos are some weird bullshit. Just based on what we're seeing here from their reactions to them, Like, you can tell that internally they're going through it in their minds. Like, they're like, Fine,
okay. It's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with a hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh. But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, just on like the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. So
now, to be clear, what's fucked up about Nux Taku is that he's that annoying dude who's always saying shitty things and then pretends it's an ironic joke if people get annoyed by it. He's Schrodinger's Gooner, though. He's saying, like, weird, offensive, perverted shit, and then once people call him out, it's a joke, you know? But until then, until it's been called out, it's all about pushing the bar, quote-unquote, with how serious about it you can sound. It's, once again, very reminiscent of Shadman, the internet's original pedophile that all the big YouTubers were friends with for some reason, where he would do this blatantly pedophilic shit openly, and everyone knew about it, but he was, for some reason, so popular, and everyone just kept on saying, well, oh, it's jokes, it's memes, freedom of speech, all that, that it got, like, kind of swept under the rug. Just kind of got swept under the rug. Like, I know people IRL who are fans of the One He Plays and Zach Hadel. I think it's Zach Hadel, right? The guy who makes Smiling Friends, and does the animated videos. He animated the "Get Out of My Car Now" Psychic Pebbles. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Psychic Pebbles and Oni. There is a podcast clip. Yeah, it's called...
There is a world.
They had a podcast called Sleepy Cabin or Sleepy Cast or something. And on an episode of that podcast, I did a video where I talked about that, or where I showed this clip. I can't find it right now because Google makes everything impossible to find now, but there should be a video clip of the podcast somewhere where it's One He Plays, Psychic Pebbles, and Shadman. And this is years and years ago, before Shadman had been dropped by everyone on the internet. And Shadman's talking about getting banned from his school, and I think from his country, and his website getting banned for the illicit, or not illicit, but the illegal material on there. And he's telling them this openly, that his website was banned in his country and he got kicked out of his school for the illegal material on his website. And all of them start laughing and joking about how ridiculous that is, and how it's implying it's like a breaking of his freedom of speech. At one point, Shadman says, "They called me a menace," and they start laughing like, "They called you a menace, dude?" That video clip is very hard to find now for obvious reasons, but, like, even back then, like, Shadman, who no one thinks of positively today, was friends with every big YouTuber at that time. Nuxtaku's just the new Shadman. The sooner you realize this and you drop him, the better you'll look in the eyes of history.
a lot of these big creators, you can start to see like really big names. Obviously, Project Melody, Critical, MXR Plays. I don't know if that's actually Iron Mouse, but yeah, you can see plenty of creators that Nux has worked with. And for a while, there's been plenty of collaborations where like big creators jump on, they get shown like crazy shit, crazy hentai, or sometimes participate in like, you know, games, game shows, so to speak. And that's really the
That Sleepy Cabin episode is still up on YouTube as far as I know. If you can send me the clip, I would love to be able to have that. Not because I think Zach Hadel and Psychic Pebbles are like awful, but I just think it's a good example of like, man, back in the day, like people, big YouTubers were friends with these folks because of this mindset that them being a big internet figure was a vetting of their background on of itself, right? Or that if anything does come out, they can maybe fall back on the excuse that, well, they were a big YouTuber, I figured, you know, that they must be chill, right? Because it can look that way. And people who are uncharitable will try to interpret it that way.
extent of it. Nux is a pretty big collaborator in that space, and realistically, I kind of just walked around expecting him on good faith when he said that, he's pretty anti-loli, and obviously wouldn't have shown us anything that would be very adjacent to it. And obviously, with a lot of these larger creators also collaborating with him, I'm sorry to say, it really did blindside me. There was a bias, call it, friendship bias, call it, there was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it. I 100% obviously condemn loli, and I 100% condemn my actions in that situation. But again, one of the reasons why I do really want to address this is I don't like obviously reading the facts that I am some level of a pedo or a defender of this or anything. I have made
so far, besides a couple things I've mostly nitpicked at, I'd say this response is pretty good. I genuinely think so far, the fact that this goes on for another 30 minutes tells me that if he wanted this response to be good, he genuinely should have ended it at like the 10-minute mark. I think we'll see if he ruins it by the 10-minute mark, but I feel like for this apology, quote unquote, to get like bad, like so bad it would warrant taking down, man, he should have just ended it at the 10-minute mark, man. I think he said everything he needed to have said by this point. Anything from here, and I feel like he's digging himself a deeper hole.
Plenty of videos crapping on individuals and burning a bridge with creators who I don't necessarily agree with. If I have ever at any point normalized their actions, people like Mama Max, where I did stick up for, amongst plenty of other creators. But I think obviously if really bad information comes out and new information comes out, you have to publicly correct it. You have to publicly explain, updates to a situation. I could swipe this stuff under the rug, but I choose to upload it on the main channel because I think that's really where taking accountability is at. I don't want to pretend like I am just burying my head in the sand. This was a wrong thing for me to do, and 100% I own up to it completely. So one of the things that I don't agree with is a lot of the over-sexualization in the thumbnails, right? So there were actually collections of thumbnails collected in these videos where things were pretty NSFW, all right? Or at least they were highly sexualized, but even that isn't as bad as one of the examples that I want to show you. Now, if you're looking at this video called Cursed Speedrun Fails, this was uploaded 3 years ago, and if you're looking at the thumbnail, it is XQC screaming at some video game with Nux's VTuber in the corner and going, what the fuck? Now, the thing is, the problem with this situation is the thumbnail that came before is absolutely filthy. So this one video, where again, the thumbnail is different, XQC is still very much in the corner. You can see a speedrun.
Well, do you know what Nux Taku's like? You know what made me really hate Nux Taku and decide he's a degenerate weirdo? YouTube would not stop pushing his content to me after the Fiona and Cake show dropped on HBO Max. Those who don't know, popular kids show, Adventure Time. Obviously, towards the end, it stopped being much of a kids show, but still, mostly targeted at a younger audience. Had a sequel series come out on HBO Max that is targeted at an adult audience, right? And because of the resurgence in popularity of Adventure Time due to Fiona and Cake coming out, I was watching like a lot of videos about the new show, like just people's like response to it, reviews, that kind of thing. Very nostalgic stuff. But because of that, YouTube was recommending me any content related to Adventure Time. And I was getting shilled these videos by Nux. I think it's Nux Taku's like streaming or like clip channel or something, one of his alt channels. But it's him it's just him reacting to episodes of Adventure Time as if he's never seen it before. And all of the thumbnails, titles, and all of the jokes throughout the videos are like sexualizing the characters and making sex jokes about the characters. And I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that if half of the comments were not like, I'm 10 years old and what the fuck is this? Like, I'm not joking, by the way. Like, it's really disturbing. He's making these videos that are like weird clickbait for kids, and then it's just his filthy gooner humor the whole time. And there are kids commenting on the videos, like, I clicked on this expecting just a normal reaction to an Adventure Time episode. What the fuck, And that is the point when I was like, this guy's a fucking creepo. Who makes this type of content besides fucking weirdos? It's just him watching kids shows and cracking sex jokes the whole time. As, like, kids click in and watch the shit and comment that they don't like what they saw. Like, when, like, 12-year-olds are commenting that they're offended by how dirty a video is? This dude's being a real fucking weirdo creep, right? Like, 12-year-old me was saying some awful, disgusting shit right? And so if 12-year-olds are commenting on these videos that they're offended by things being posted, it's gotta be disgusting. Like, this dude's a fucking creep.
Running timer, you can see Nux's character, his avatar, right here on the right side, but the middle that I'm blurring especially involves a dog bending over and inserting themselves into what appears to be a female character. So obviously this has nothing to do with the actual content, it's just a hypersexualized thumbnail. Now, even with a thumbnail like that, it had nothing to do with anything hypersexualized, so I don't know why we had to insert zoophilia into, like, a speedrunning thumbnail. To me, it makes no sense, but obviously, you know, looking through a larger...
Because his entire community and audience is... They're gooners. They're gooner lolicons. Like, he might not be a lolicon. There's like a 5% chance, maybe, most, that he's not a lolicon, but his fans almost all are. Like, he attracts them. He markets to them. His content is for them.
Collection of these thumbnails that were uploaded on numerous other channels covering this topic. Yeah, it really is a pattern that back in the day, and Nux even touched upon this, that, you know, years ago, that this was something they did, whether it be for some form of clickbait or, you know, capture, or something that was normalized in the anime community. Any form of zoophilia, any form of, you know, hentai like this, or hypersexualization, or, you know, if you even insert, like, loli into this thumbnail, for instance, that's not okay. And obviously these are things that, you know, if you slightly change in the background, it's going to rub people the wrong way. You should really just be upfront and honest. And honestly, you should never even have done this in the first place. But yeah, this is one of those things that kind of, like, obviously was brought up, and it's one thing that I wanted to address as one of the principal reasons as to why this isn't okay. But I think a even bigger reason is one of these situations regarding another creator known as Bungo Taiga, which is a creator that also had their entire YouTube channel pretty much terminated for nudity and sexual content policy. Now, to preface, also going in forward into this video, I don't know much more about Bungo Taiga other than what I'm about to read here for you, and again, just covering this one specific case. So I don't know what level of degeneracy, if anything, this person also falls into, so don't consider anything that I'm saying as a co-signing of this individual. I'm looking at a very hyper-specific event in this point in time. I just want to make that readily apparent. So to go over a bit of their controversy, in summer 2022, Taiga was accused of grooming. They made a tweet longer where they reviewed the allegations and called them false. Later, an updated Google Doc was created that had evidence that on and spread. I have no idea about this controversy whatsoever. I'm only bringing this up because it was actually a big point of contention for someone like Nux. So even the actual person, Taiga Holic, actually ended up making like a 57-minute like piece where they kind of went over this and really were just grilling Nux for not really correcting the record. The record had to be corrected because in this situation, Nux literally made a video where he was showcasing controversies to a popular creator known as Penguin Zero. Now inside this, he actually goes out and says, "Hey all, I edited out the Bungo Taiga segment of this video. Although I state in the video itself a disclaimer that I do not know the full story and do not take what I say too seriously, I would rather not be a cause for possible misinformation floating around now that new information was revealed. I'm still in the dark on a lot of details as I heard both sides of this event and don't know what to think. I'm sorry if I caused any undue harm." So I personally apologize to Taiga for their side, and they discuss my plan going forward. If the truth comes out, be it guilty or innocent, but I intend to set the record straight in the future when I understand the situation. So it's wild as fuck that we're covering pretty serious stories like this, but we don't have the entire story, or at least enough to make...
Okay, this feels very... Just, I get why it's related, but it doesn't feel like it's relevant to the Muda situation. Okay, so now he's kind of getting off topic. I think I was right. I think he should have ended the video around the 12 to 11 minute mark, to be honest. All right, well, let's see what happens here.
Make a video. That is basically too happy you can't stop lying.
You think I deplatformed him? People are blaming me for deplatforming him. He got banned for sexual content. But you're blaming me for deplatforming him? This our views didn't make any, like...
Was ever a great response in the situation? Like, yes, just because you regard 100% on the money, or a, you know, side channel that people, you know, may or, incredibly actual real... It doesn't have to be like you slapping yourself in the face. The reason I'm doing this video, for instance, to be honest with you, when it comes to a situation like this, it's best...
Aw, man, Muda, you should have, like, you got to the point, dude. Like, why didn't you just end the video... Personally, if you're asking me, I think it's worthy. Look into the background history of your friends and the people you're just perfectly fine platforming. You allowed Mama Max to run rampant for years.
To come out and make these videos, but I choose to because I believe being accountable is important, and I'd be a total hypocrite because I call other people out on crazy shit, and if I'm willing to completely sweep things under the rug and pretend like things don't exist, or show you actual things, then I am a pretty big fucking hypocrite on my own. So you blindly believe the allegations against Mudahar, which I apologize for, especially. You blindly believe the Night Docs was a creep, and you blindly let a guy like Nux Taku openly discuss and show freak shit in his thumbnails. Again, I don't control another person and their YouTube account, so I don't know what I can do with their thumbnails. But again...
Well, okay. Alright, okay. Oh, man. Ooh. Yikes. Oof. Dude, just take it on the chin and say you thought it was ironic. Say that you fell for the peer pressure of thinking like this is an okay thing to joke about, and you thought it was just edgy, ironic humor, and that the joke was supposed to be that Nux Taku is torturing you quite and Oompaville by showing you weird degen shit. Like that literally just is what I assumed went down, you know? Like, this is, ooh, he should have cut it at 10 minutes, I think. Methinks. Did he, someone told me he made a community post. Some ordinary gamers. Apparently he made a community post to talk about why he took the video down. Community. 4 days ago, edited. Regarding the last video about Nux, while I can't be a friend after some of the recent things that surfaced, I do feel I did do an overreaction that stemmed from being being emotional on the reaction from the community on Reddit. It's a bit badly typed in there. I've been watching my content for the past few weeks. I've realized my channel has slipped into a slop channel. I've made some more drama-related content over the last several months than I have fun, engaging, and informative content. This doesn't... Oh, man, dude, this is a bad post. You know, this is important to the situation. What do you mean? Okay, so you felt that you went too hard on Nux? Okay, that includes producing videos that don't release daily. I need to take more time and release content a couple times a week that stands out in quality and not quantity. I'm gonna be real with you, Muda. YouTube does not like that. I would just stick with the daily uploads. I don't think anyone's upset with the current, like, content quality. I don't do this for a job, so honestly going out of my way to constantly chase trends has done nothing beneficial for me other than alienate my most hardcore fans. That is true. I think he's got a day job, and YouTube he does on the side, so I think he can just do that. I don't know why he was doing daily uploads in the first place. Christ. I need to take a few days off and reset and produce better content that isn't the latest trends or internet drama. While that produces a good view count, it's not the kind of content I want to be known for. I'll be back with content that I'm proud of. In regards to past collaborations, all I can do is apologize and promise to do better. Man, so he made, like, a softball video on Nux, and I wouldn't say it was super soft, but it was a little softer than I would have liked. And he yaps a little bit more. I mean, a lot more than he should have. He takes the video down, and then he claims that he went too hard on Nux, and he's taking a break. Jesus Christ, dude. This is not a good response. Let's see the replies. All the replies, oh my god, wait, was this intentional? Was it intentional he said he decided to take the video down because Reddit was upset? Because the top 3 replies are, community on Reddit, bro, I think I found your problem. Using Reddit as a guide on what should and shouldn't be said is a bad idea. Like, was that like an intentional, like, oh yeah, the Redditors are mad, to induce the instant response of, oh yeah, well if it's Reddit that's upset, we all know they're crazy. Kind of reminds, oh man, I don't know what to think about this situation. I'm gonna be honest. On one hand, it feels like Muda took accountability, but then he also reverted it and is now like going soft. I don't know how to feel about this situation. I'm definitely not happy with the response. I don't know. Well, I guess you guys gotta let me know what you think of the situation, because frankly, at all I can say is I hope that he makes a new video that's a more concise and streamlined response, not one where he has totally different points to the one in the first video, but one where he's like, I did a bad job of like making a concise response last time. I feel like 38 minutes is too long. Here's like a brief 8-minute response and just sticking to the points. I feel like that would probably be the best way to go about it. I don't know though, man. That's rough. That's rough. The response was not as bad as everything surrounding the response and following it, you know? But I guess he's just going to move on, which is probably, for like, in regards to his channel, for the best. Zan, did you know about the clip of Muda talking about his favorite H, and it's also not good? I'm not understanding why we are giving him a pass. Talking about his favorite H? Like hentai? I have not seen that clip. No, I don't know what that refers to. Nux responded to him. It's bad. Oh, Nux responded to him as well. Jeez, 97 minutes ago. Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. I don't want to curse my YouTube algorithm by looking up Nux Taku's channel, but... Oh, Sensitive Society made a video about Nux Taku's response. You know, Sensitive Society's a chud.
Welcome back.
But it's not a view to Nux Taku, so... Alright, we'll get a glimpse.
Unemployed people, and yes, that includes myself. Once again, like I said in my previous video, huge day for unemployed people because today is a double upload. So yesterday I made a video called You're a Clown, where we talked about the Mudahar situation. You know, I rewatched it, as you guys could see by the bar. Well, of course I made it, but I rewatched it a few minutes ago just to make sure I wasn't cringe or weird, and I stand by it. I stand on business, if you will. So that's that. And a few hours after my video came out, Nux made his own video called Mudahar, and we're just gonna take a look at the response because it is a 1-hour show, podcast, if you will. Him and some other girl are talking about that situation and other stuff. I'm only here to give you the juicy details because ain't nobody got time for 1 hour. You know, there's other stuff that I can do with an hour, like play Fortnite, play Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero. Like I said, huge day for unemployed people. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, show me love, or I'm gonna cry, and let's just get right into it.
So anyway, I'm gonna try to do my best to do a TLDR here of the story. So I did speak to Mudahar just now, for like 2 hours. And basically we talked things out to a large degree. But I'm gonna do like the TLDR whole story here. First and foremost, if you're here just for like the clips, notes, and
this is one of those right-wing female gooner VTubers I've told you guys about.
Muda apologized. We are still friends. That's the clip note answer. It was pretty sucky moment there.
That bag sound that you heard, that wasn't me eating hot Cheetos like a fat ass. The girl, she's eating pumpkin seeds or something throughout the whole video. And I have headphones and you can hear her digging into the bag. And it feels like the bag just never ends. I don't know who she is. No hate towards her. We all love our little snacks. You know what I mean? I love snacking. You know, I love hot Cheetos.
Tell her about NVIDIA broadcast, please.
Cheetos, Takis. For context, I have my headphones on. Those chips, or whatever the fuck they are, they sounded so crisp. But I'm getting off topic. It looks like Mudahar reached out privately. They talked for 2 hours. They talked it out. Now they're BFFs again. Do I care about them being friends?
Yeah, that's... I don't know. It's just a little disturbing. To, like, work it out, quote unquote. I don't know. Listen, all I'm saying is... Muda is now writing himself down in history as one of the YouTubers that went kind of hard to defend Nux Taku. Because at some point, we're all going to look back at Nux Taku the same way we look back at Shadbase now. Right? The Shadman, Shadbase dude. We're going to look back at that guy the same way. And we're going to be like, how the fuck were YouTubers and big figures... in this case, like Muda, buddies with that guy? Muda is kind of throwing it all away right now because he has the opportunity to take accountability, take the L on the chin, because there is an L here that he's got to accept. Sometimes he's got to accept an L. Simple as. Accept the L and move on. Sometimes you just got to accept the L, take accountability, and I mean really take accountability, admit that you were in the wrong, and here's how you're going to change. And I think Muda did a good job of that to an extent, but then he went back on it. It's so bad that he went back on it. Man. Like I said, comment down below what your thoughts are on this situation as well. Good God. This same person has been spamming, accusing me of being a pedophile in website chat on several accounts. Actually, is this a Nux Taku fan? Ah, yes, one of their accounts is Trash Panda 1488. I see. I can see the list of new accounts made on the website. They have made 4 accounts, and one of them is Trash Panda 1488. So we'll just get out ahead of it and ban that one too. Actually, I'll let the mods do it. The mods can ban the account. I don't feel like having to type it. That's dedicated hate? It is, in fact, dedicated hate. Rev says Desu made a video about this. That doesn't surprise me. He is also one of those lolicon YouTubers. I expect that Rev says Desu will also get his share soon enough. Zan, isn't 1488 the Nazi number? Yes, it's a Nazi number. That's why they have it in their name. It's just a Nazi account. They do that. Nazis do like to make like 15 accounts and spam my chat. They make multiple accounts because they know they'll get banned. The only thing that would be more in brand is if they had Hitler in their handle twice. Doesn't like the 14 mean Adolf Hitler or something? Or I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be like I don't know. I don't remember what the numbers mean. Oh, 14 words. Like I said, I don't. The 88 means... Oh, yeah, because it would mean Hail Hitler, because HH. Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, it's a stupid dog whistle anyway. It's like a combination of two kind of related, but not really things. It's... Yeah. They say that, too, it takes a lot of love to hate someone. They say that it takes a lot of love to hate someone. Oh, yeah, no, trust me. I just assume that there's a lot of, like, closeted gay Nazis out there and alt-righters that can't accept themselves, but they find me, like, really attractive, and they want this dick bad. And so they watch my content day and night. Flamenco is, like, the first case of this, like a Nazi dude whose obsession was, like, clearly rooted in some kind of sexual attraction. So I'm not saying this is a meme or as a joke, by the way. I'm being 100% serious right now. I do think that a lot of, like, the men obsessed with me online, they want some of this, you know? And they're mad, because they're never gonna get any. This is what I get for mewing at the camera all the time. This is how it goes. Yeah. Anyway, comment down below what you think of this whole situation. I am really interested to see what you guys have to say in response. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Every thumbs up and comment is a good way to support the channel, so I really appreciate it. It's totally free, and it's actually the best way to support the channel, so thank you for the likes and comments as always. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos, because if you don't, they won't. Follow my social medias linked down below, especially my Blue Sky, and join my Discord server, the main hub of my community and fan base. In fact, once a week, usually on Fridays, I host gaming events, call-in streams, or watch parties there, so you don't want to miss it. Then make sure to join. Like I said, link in the description. And finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on, the roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, gifting a sub on my website, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.